Data types. What are the data types that are available in DAX? Integer, the common, like other programming language, whatever the data types, we use it, the same thing, it is available here. And you have whole number, and you have decimal number, and the currency and date time. These are the data types that are available here. The values you can store between anywhere between this range to this range, right? It's a big number, right? So you can store this big value. In the case of whole number, it is a 64-bit integer value and 8-byte, and similar to whole number, even in the case of a decimal number, 64-bit 8-byte. The only thing is the difference between whole number, the whole number, the integer, right? So integer, you don't have any decimal things comes into picture. In the case of decimal, the range, the negative numbers between this value to this value, and positive number from between this value, right? Between these two ranges, you can store any value. The number of significant digits is limited to 15 decimal digits. The separator occurring anywhere within the number. This is the limitation. Okay, 15 decimal digits only you can use it. After this, let's say 19.55623, this digits are 15. The next one is the currency, fixed decimal number in Power BI. Numbers that have 4 decimal digits of fixed precision between, these are the ranges. Don't remember all these things. Okay, just understand what are the data types that are available here. Let's say the currency data type is also known as fixed decimal number. Okay, in Power BI it stores a fixed decimal number. Okay, so it can represent 4 decimal points, and it is internally stored as a 64-bit integer value divided by 10,000. So that is the difference between the decimal number and the currency. Both of them are kind of a decimal number. Why it is a fixed decimal number? Because the 64-bit integer value that gets divided by 10,000. So the adding or subtracting currency data types always ignores decimals beyond the 4th decimal point. Okay, you need to keep this also in mind. After the 4th decimal point, whatever is there, right, it ignores that. The next one is date time. It is pretty straightforward. These are the ranges are used here. See, it supports date from March 1, 1900 to December 31, 49. Okay. So if you try to store anything before this, it will not work. Anything if you try to store after this, it will not work. And also we have text data type and Boolean data type, true or false, and blank. There's something called blank. It creates a blank with the blank function and verify blank with is blank. Supposing you have any blank values are there in your column, you can use the is blank function to check does it have any blank value in it. If it returns true, then it is a blank value. And then table, represent table in the data model. Next one is the operators in DAX, like all the other programming languages. Whatever the operators we use it, the same operators we use it: arithmetic, comparison, concatenation, logical. Plus is to perform addition, 3 plus 7. If you want to add these two values, I need to use this operator. If you want to subtract the values, I need. And importantly, you should be knowing this one, exponential. 3 to the power 4, 3 raised to the power 4, 81. And if you want to divide the value, I need to use this one. To exponentiation, I need to use this one. Multiplication, you need to use star. And the next one is if you want to compare the value, okay, then you need to use double equal sign. Single equal sign to check the condition, whether it is true or false. True only when number equals 0 and false with blank. So in this case, what happens? It compares the value. So both of them are same, then it returns true, else it will return false. And false if blank. Okay, if it returns blank, that means it returns false. And greater than, less than, greater than or equal to sign. I think all of you are familiar with it. Only thing is the logical operators like ampersand, logical and. You want to find out the combination of based on the combination of two conditions. You want to retrieve the data, then you need to use and ampersand, double ampersand. Okay, and true is equal to true and false equal to false. I guess most of you are familiar with the truth table, right? And the pipe symbol, double pipe symbol, or this is nothing but or. Either this condition is true or this condition. Of these two given condition, if any one of them is true, then it is true. Okay. If both the conditions are false, then it will not return anything. Supposing your condition is where city is equivalent to Bangalore double ampersand and city is equivalent to Pune. Only if these two conditions are true, you retrieve the data. Okay, otherwise don't retrieve. If any one of them, let's say in your data set, you don't have Pune's data, okay, then it will fail. Of these two conditions, if any one of the conditions returns false, everything else will become false. Whereas here, okay, city equal to Bangalore data is there, but Pune is not there. At least one condition is true, hence it returns true. Got it? This is how it works. And in the case of in, it's a logical or. It is kind of a logical or. Channel name, in store. Look here, the in list. You can specify everything in a single thing. Instead of saying that channel name is equivalent to store or channel name is equivalent to online, or instead of using multiple or, so this is or, right? Instead of using multiple or, put it use a in and then put all your thing here. The channel name is in store, channel name in online or catalog. If any one of the conditions is to return the value, that is what the in operator tells us. Next one is the logical functions. Switch is also very much helpful. That is available in Power BI. With that, you don't have to write so many if else, nested if else. If you won't write it, switch is very much helpful. So the syntax is unlike if, but we will explain it like this. Expression, this is nothing but the column that we need to evaluate. The first one is expression, second one is value one, something like that. Okay, something like that. I'll show you everything, don't worry. Okay, how to use switch and all I will show you. And the next one is variables. We will see it later. Okay. Okay. Before we dive into the DAX function, there are different types of DAX functions are there. So in order to understand how these things are working, right? I just show you the switch now, how the switch works. Okay, I just click on the cross here so that it will display all the columns. I just go to the data view. And here what I do is I create some column here. Currently, I'm in the data view. In the data view, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create new column. So here I say the performance, right? Something that you can give some name here. I just show you what is the goal of here. I want to use the first argument. Suppose look here, the moment when I type the switch function here, the formula bar, it shows the arguments for this one. The first argument is the expression, second argument is the value one, and the result and else. What is the expression? In this case, I'm going to say true. And then next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say sales. You don't have to type the entire thing. Look here, you can go and select it. Sales W. This is my data set name. In this data set, what is the column? Sales column. And then here what I do is I just check if the sales is greater than, let's say 500. I say it is, or let's say if the sales is greater than 3000. I say if you're saying green, I say high sales. And next one is you need to use double quote here. Simple. If you get any error with single quote, then it is nothing but, for example, you are using it like this. Hi. And if you get some error, don't panic. Don't take a screenshot and send it to me. Simple thing is you just use try with other alternative, double quote. And the next one is See, in this case, you need to write multiple lines, isn't it? So in that case, what you do is you click this down arrow, it will expand this way. And then what I do is, and then I just hold my control key and press enter so that it will come to the next line. What I do is I just type it somewhere right here. And ideally, we need to write it like this for readability. Okay, so you can write it in everything in a single line. For readability sake, this is how we need to write it, sales W04. Or simply you can copy this one. Okay, and all the things you can copy it and paste it here. And then if anything is okay, anything is greater than, or we can use some kind of color or something. Let's, I'm going to use something like green color. Okay, here I don't know to use okay, best thing is I say hi, or we'll use less than, anything less than 3000, it is low, and anything, okay, I just write some range, anything less than 1000 low. Okay, and anything greater than 1000, look here, I'm going to use ampersand sign here, sales W04. And just scroll down, I don't have to type the column name. And if you use the down arrow, you can find the sales here. I'll just less than or equal to 2000. I call this as medium sales. Anything greater than 2000, I call this as high sales, comma, high. Let's see, I just press enter. Let's say if this works fine. Any syntax error is there. When you press enter, it will compile your thing. There is a mistake here. Okay, DAX comparison or do not support comparing a type number with value of value format. Okay, and where there is consider using the value or format function convert one of the values. Okay, here the sales is numeric value, right? Yes. Okay, sales indicator. Type number with values of text. Yeah, in the case of a number, you need to use some other technique here. And if you get stuck up something like, or else what I will do is, let's take another example. Okay, in the interest of time, I just put it in thing something like this, the order. I just put it here. Here what I do is, here I just close this, or I don't want to close. Okay, 1 second. Let me just minimize this. We have something like, let me see. So we will take a market, okay, and we will, this is work with text. I forgot this. Okay, 1 second. Where is the market? And we have something called EU. Okay, we will take this one. See here, I just click on this one. When you click on this, it will open the formula bar and you can select this one. Here, what I do is I just use something like so what we can do here is in this case of switch, yeah, here market market is, yeah, value, right? You need to specify the value here. Sales W04 market, and the value is UU. Okay, EU is nothing but euro result. Instead of typing all the conditions, I just try with only the one condition because of the time limit. During parsing invalid token line 2. Okay, here, okay, you have mentioned one more additional parenthesis here. Yeah. When you start with one parenthesis, you need to end with one parenthesis. If you are using additional parenthesis, then you can still look here, it is there, right? Line 2, still it causing problem, switch true, and okay, it puts additional thing here. Okay, you look here, I made a mistake here. Euro, right? Replace wherever U is there by euro. Still I'm getting error, and let's not worry about it. We'll go and check the help manual. Go and check the syntax here. In the Power BI condition, you can go directly to the Microsoft site. Docs.microsoft, learn Microsoft switch function. You can go to learn dot also. Here you can see the expression and value result. And here they have mentioned something like that. Okay, instead of okay, here what we will do is, instead of using that one directly, we can use it. We don't have to specify true here. Take this column, the expression itself, the column name. Okay, the column name is, if the column name is Europe, then you replace this with some Europe something. Let's see what happens. Now the error has gone. See, that is the thing. Okay, true has to be used if you want to specify some color or something like that. And in this case, sales indicator, and we'll go and take a look at the market column here. Where is the market column? You will just select this one, and here unselect everything and select only the euro. The market, we have, look here. Here we have in the market column we have EU is there. Okay, I don't want to see EU. Instead, I want to give the full name here. Look here, Euro, right? Similarly, you can do it for other countries also. So you have something called APAC. The next condition is I just go here, and then what I do is in this case, I continue with the next condition. Okay, the next condition is Alt and press enter. Here what I do is wherever APAC is there, you replace it with Asia Pacific. So what mistake I did? I did not use the double quote here. Okay, you need to put it everything in double quote. So here in this column, EU is there, right? Check EU. Okay, in this column, wherever EU is there, you put Europe. This Europe value should be specified in this column, in the new column. Okay, don't disturb the existing column. Don't replace the value of EU by Europe. Instead, what you do is in this column, you check EU wherever EU is there. For that, you create a new value as Europe and put it in this column. That is what we are doing. And then I'm going to hit the tick mark. Yes, no error. We did not get any error now. Good. I just go and close it here. Just click on it here. Or you can collapse that one by doing this. Look here, Europe, the sales indicator. And where is the market column? I just clear the APAC. I just select only these two things. Look here, Asia Pacific and Europe related data. You can see it here, the full name. Sometimes you may have to do it. So this is a clear use case he has given. So something like a month column is there, but in the month you have 1, 2, 3, 12, 12 for each month. So 12 month data is there. Wherever month one is there, the number. You for that I need the January text month in terms of name. Month name should be there instead of month number. I want to create a new column which should hold the month name for the corresponding month number that is available in my month column. In that kind of situation, we'll be using this one. And true, we have something called true here, not this one. Let me just show you when to use true when I forgot the switch. So Radacat, this is also a good site. You can find the syntax with the real-time use cases. So if you want to do some kind of coloring in your visual, you can do it this way also. This we will say it a little later because a little bit advanced level. And what we will do is, yeah, you mentioned about the color itself here. Okay, this is for the, I'm looking for something for the front end in the column, right? So that is for your visual. In the visual, based on some value, that is what of the dynamic formatting, conditional formatting. Okay. No, not this one. Is not showing the 1 second. When I press enter, it should work. No. So again, the same syntax for DAX. Okay, here I have used the double thing. Now it's working perfectly. See, even for experienced person, right? Sometimes we get stumbled like this. Okay, look here. Here you need to use double ampersand. Since I used a single ampersand, it was throwing an error. That was the error. Okay. Look here, double ampersand is used to for and. So here, anything greater than 1000 and less than or equal to 2000, you call that as a medium. And anything above 2000, you call as a high. You got it? This is the right syntax. So what was the mistake I did it? Instead of using double ampersand, I use a single ampersand. See here also in one of the examples they mentioned clearly, right? So double ampersand. Got it? So this is another way of doing it. So I have created another calculated column. I just, here I have used the true function as an expression. So what I do is in this case, I consider it's true. Okay. So by default, you just come inside and go and check in the sales column, any values less than or equal to 1000, you replace, you put that low in the other column. So now the question is, why should I create a column something like this from the business point of view? From the business point of view, any value. So in this case, we can understand. So the high, right? So why the sales are high? I just want to select only the high and medium and see what is the prices that I mentioned. Okay, why the sales is high? Okay, more than 2000. Is it because of the price or is it because of something else, right? To do some kind of that kind of analysis, you need to have some column like this. You need to do binning. Binning is something like bucketing, right? Anything less than 1000, I say low, and anything between this range, I say medium. Anything above this, I say high. Right? With this, you want to do some kind of further analytics. You can do it. For that purpose, we have created this column. Most of the time, we create it like this. Okay, bucketing column also to perform some advanced analytics. So remember that you're supposed to say 2%. So sometimes, right, we have to combine more than one condition. Okay, if it is or, then you need to use double pipe symbol. Okay, and then I just press enter. either this condition is true or this condition is true. Of these two conditions, if any one of them is true, it will work. Okay, but here my condition is, in this case, both of them should be true. Okay, it should be greater than 1000 and it should be less than or equal to 2000. We are setting some kind of boundary here. This is how, if condition everything right, I will show you once we start writing the DAX query. Okay, this is called your conditional call. See, calculated column. We created new calculated column. So in this case, obviously we wanted to classify those transactions we made more than 2000 sales high. Those transactions we made between these two ranges, we want to classify as a medium. So based on this, I want to do some other analysis. In this case, this column is very much helpful. And in some cases, they wanted to have some detailed information like this. Instead of APAC, they want some Asia Pacific. The classic example is month. You have a month number. You have a column by the name of month is available. Year 1 to 3, 7, 12 months or 12 number will be there. Instead, I want to have the month name along with the month number. In that kind of situation also, you can use it. But in that kind of situations, here you don't have to specify true. If you are comparing the values greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, right? So in that kind of situation, first argument is true. Whereas if you want to map the values with a different value, you want to compare, this value with this column's value, and then you need to map this value with the corresponding this value. You want to map the EU with Euro. In that kind of situation, you can specify the column name directly here. Okay, go to this column and check wherever EU is there. For that, I want to create the detailed name here, Euro. This value should go here. Don't disturb this one. Don't modify this one. That kind of situation, you can directly use this way. Okay, if you want to map some value, right? So what do you mean by mapping? For this, I want to map this value. Wherever EU is there, I want to map this with the detailed thing, but I want to create in a separate column. I don't, so that later point in time, we can refer it back. Is this for EU? I have used Europe. For example, I have something like IND. IND could be India, IND could be Indonesia, right? So for that purpose, if you have the to cross verify that, if you have the original column, it will be there. If you modify this, how will you find out? Okay, next we will jump into the types of DAX functions. These are the different types of DAX functions: aggregation functions, rounding functions, logical functions, information functions. Like different types of functions are available. We'll start take a look at what is aggregation functions. What is aggregation function? Sum is an aggregation function. Average is an aggregation function. Average, and min is an aggregation function. Max is another aggregation function. Min, max, count is also another aggregation function. For example, using sum, you can find out the total sales in your data set. Let's see, you have a column called sales. For each record, you have different sales amount. You want to add all these sales value to get to know the total sales, right? In that case, some function average, you can use average also, you can min max, and similarly we have some count function is available. Now let us take a look at how this count function works. And we have sum and sum x is also available. There is something called sum x function, and we will take a look at the count function. In the case of count, it offers family of functions. Okay, it offers suite of functions as part of this. We will see round function little later. We'll start with the count functions. Look here. In this case, in the case of count function itself, 7 functions are available: count function, count a function, count ex, and count blank, count rows. Likewise, a host of count related function itself available. Now we will take a look at, we will compare and contrast what these functions are, what each function does, how it works. Okay. I just classified these 7 count functions into 2 categories. One is excluding blanks, the other one is including blanks. Okay, in the excluding blanks, 4 count functions are available. In including blanks, we have 3 functions are available. Okay, in the case of excluding blanks, so what this count function does, it counts only the number of values in a numeric cell, but it excludes the blanks. Okay, number of values in numeric cell. Let's say I have a column called units sold. In this column, I have 10, 20, and one blank value is there, 30 is there. I wanted to know how many number of values are there in this column. How many number of values? 1, 2, 3. It ignores the blank. It gives me 3. Okay, the count function count the number of values in a column that contains numbers. Unit sold is a numeric value. And even the case of dates, count function, you can use a count function. You can find out how many number of values are there in a date column, string data type. It works with number, string, and date data type. Date data type. It does not count the blank values. In case of blank values, see, actually 4 values are there according to us. But the count function, it ignores the blank value. It does not count blank cells and Boolean values also. It doesn't work with Boolean values. It will not work with Boolean, like true or false. It will not work with that. And then next one is the countX function. We'll take a look at countX. The countX function counts the number of values in a column that contains number, string, date. Same as the count function. The difference is you can use an expression here. Okay. And even countX function also, like count function, it does not count the blank values, and Boolean values, so it will not count. Okay. But if Boolean with the numeric values and categorical, it will count. Okay. In that kind of situation, countX will work. What is count A? As the name says, A is kind of all. Okay, it works with number data type, string data type, date data type, plus Boolean values also. The count and countX function will not work with Boolean. So number, string, date, data type, it will work. For example, you have the customer name, it's a string data type. Date of birth is a date data type. If you perform count on these 3 different types of data type, it will work. But if you have Boolean data type, it will not work. Next one is count AX. What is the difference between count? So like a count AX also works with all the data types, like a number. Here it works with number, like how it works with number, string, and Boolean and data type. The same thing you can do it with count AX, but the function that ends with X, this is called your iterator function. Okay, so with this function you can evaluate an expression. For example, I don't want to count all the values in a table. I want to count based on some condition. Okay, let's say customer status, right? You have something called status column is there in the table. The customer is active or inactive. Okay, so I wanted to find out total number of active customers. If you want to find out, you can use some, you are supposed to use some condition, isn't it? Where the status equal to active, only count those records. Don't count blindly all the things. Even in this case, count X, it ignores the blank values. But here you can use some kind of condition. Here also you can use some condition. Those functions that with ends with X, you can use some expression or condition. Okay. And the next one is the distinct count blanks and count rows. The distinct count, as the name suggests, right, counts distinct values in a column, including blanks. So in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It gives you 4. Which one? The distinct count. It includes the blanks. The count blanks counts the number of blanks in a column. It counts only the blank values in a column. It returns 1 here in this case, right? Only 1 blank value is there. The count number of rows in a table, that is what count rows. Let's say I have 3 or 4 columns are there. How many number of rows in a table? In my table, I have, it will give you the 4. So in this case, it will give you 4. Let's say in this table, you have only 1 column. It will ignore it will take into account of the blank values, right? So the count rows gives you the total number of rows. This one will give you the how many number of blank values, and here it gives the distinct values. Even if you have duplicate values, it will take only the unique values. It considers blank values also in that case. Okay, now we will go to the Power BI desktop and we will directly jump in there and we will explore how each of these functions are working. I have already created this one, the measure everything. In the interest of time, we can quickly go and explore what these functions are. First we'll start with the count function. Where is the count function? Here I haven't used count EX, count AX, count X, count A, and count sales. So this is chord. You remember as part of data visualization, I taught you what is a single chord. Simple thing, if you select any visual, if you want to understand what kind of visual is that, on the right side you can see here, look here, this one got highlighted, right? If I click on the blank space here, this one, it is not highlighted. When you click on this one got highlighted. So that means this is a chord visual. I use the chord visual for all the things. I just selected this visual. The corresponding column or the table, which I used it, right? So it got highlighted here. And in this table, which column or any measure that I use it, that one will get highlighted. So automatically when I selected it, these two are got highlighted. You just click on this. This is the measure I. You remember the total sales. Earlier I created a measure, right? Same way I created the measure here. All right, so count sales X. Here I have used the count function. Sales by customer. This is my data set. We'll just go and first explore the data set. So in this case, I have customer name, units sold, sales, active, customer price. So here I did the count on this column, right? The what is the how it count? What is the how it works? The count function. The functionality of the count function I explained. It ignores the blank values. So 1, 2, 3, 4 blank values are there. How many non-blank values are there? 6. 6 plus 4, 10. In total, 10 records are there. Of the 10 records, 6 values are non-blank. Remaining 4 records, you have blank values in this column. So the count function should give non-blank value 6. Look here, it gives 6, isn't it? Okay, if I want to see the count value, how many blank values are there? For that, I create another measure. Blank. If you click on this count blank, in the customer's name, look here, if you go here, this is the customer's name. So only one blank value is there. Look here, it shows the blank value. And now we are done with count and count blank. And we will take a look at the count X function. Count X, did I create it here? This is the count X measure. Moment when I selected it, the right side, whatever the columns or that I used it for it got highlighted here. Count X measure, sales by customer. Look here, in this case, it is slightly different. The count X function, any function that ends with X is called iterator function. The first argument, it takes the first argument as a table name. So in this case, 2 arguments, right? The first one is your table name, or else this is the expression. First argument supposed to be your, for example, if you type, the first argument is table in this case. The second argument is expression. In this case, you can specify some condition here, or else you can specify the column name itself. So in this case, what we are saying is go to the sales by customer dataset. In this dataset, in this column, you do the count. How many number of values are there in this column? So we have seen in this case blank count. It returns one value. In which column? The customer name column. But here the customer is a column name. Look here. Customer is also column name here. This is also similar to this one. So here also the same value. It's a copy of this one. Here one blank value is there. 9 non-blank values there. The count X function will return non-blank, 9 non-blank values. Whereas the blank count returns only the blank values. So 9 plus 1, 10 values. So for these two measure, I have used the column customer name column, customer or customer name column. Okay. Okay, now you understood the context, the difference between the count and context. Look here, I just show you one more time. In the case of count, only one argument. Whereas in the case of context, you need to use two argument. Okay, for the two argument. The first argument is supposed to be table name. Second argument is your column. It could be a column or you can specify some condition also. Okay, I'll just show you something here. AX, we'll just select AX. Look here, in this case, active. Okay, sales by customer. We have a column called active here. Just give me a second. Somebody is ringing the bell. Okay, so in this case, count AX, right? So count AX. So this function also ends with X. Hence, the first argument is supposed to be table. Okay, here I have used the other column, active. We'll go and take a look at the active column. This is a Boolean data type. True or false is there. As I told you, count A and count AX function. A, you just think A is something like all data type. It works with all the data, number, and then string, date, including the Boolean data type. It works. Look here, instead of going and checking here, I created a table here, right? So here itself we can compare it. Instead of switching back to data view and report canvas view, we can check compare it here. So count AXM in this, if I select this one, look here, the active. This is the column, right? So how many non-blank values are there? 5 non-blank values are there, but it is a Boolean data type. Okay, now can I use the count text measure on this column? It will not work because it's a Boolean data type. It will not work. To check that, I just go here and here I just say the active. I just select active, this one. This is a Boolean data type. The count X function and count function will not work with Boolean data type. Let's see, this is a new version of the Power BI desktop I installed. Let's see if this works or not. I just now, installed the latest version just 4 days or 5 days back. Look here, it is throwing an error. When you click on the C details, okay, even the latest version, the function context cannot work with values of type Boolean. So whatever the statement I made was correct, right? The count X and count function does not work with Boolean data type, whereas count AX is all, right? So it works with all data type, including Boolean. Now we understood what is the difference between count and count-x and count-ax. Count and count-x function works only with all the data except Boolean data type, and it ignores the blank values, right? It takes into account only the blank so non-blank values. X. Okay, all of you can see, right? Suddenly some issue happened. I don't know. I pressed some key. So now you understood the count. See, count and count X function is same, but in the difference is, as the name says, X, right? Expression. You can use expression here. And in the case of count E and count X, both of them are same. All the data, it works with all the data type. But the difference is here you can use expression. For example, what do you mean by expression? Here I just say sales by customer active. You can use some condition. Active is equal to true. Use only true here. I don't know if the syntax is correct. Count AX. Yes, no error. It works with the Boolean data, right? Only thing is, yeah, sales by customer active equal to what I do is here I just say active equal to true. I created two copies here. Okay, let it be there. Filter, count DX filter. Yeah, you can use the filter condition like this. Yeah, instead of using like this, right? The first argument supposed to be a table. Here I've used a filter function. The filter function also, like the function that ends with X, the filter function takes the first argument as the table name. Here I'm using the condition. Yeah, this is how we need to use it. Okay, you cannot use it directly. Sales by customer active equal to true. Okay, and in this case, count X filter measure, look here, it gives me 3, right? The filter function, you must be asking this question. The any function that ends with X, it takes the first argument as the table name, but you have used something else here, filter. The filter function itself returns a table. So what it does is it takes this table and it filters only the records that are matching with true for the the active thing. In this table, sales by customer, in the how many number of active values active values are true here. So only 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. It takes 4, and ideally it should return 4. Due to some reasons, it is not. Sales by customer and customer column. Okay, in this case, active equal to true. Okay, okay. Look here. So what is happening here? Can someone tell me? Can you are able to understand here? In this table, you filter the column active by true, and that too matching, filter the value. True, how many you get? 3, 4, right? Of these 4, how many customer values are there? So for this one customer name is there 22, and for this 2 and 3, but here it is blank is there. Since count AX function excludes blank, it did not consider, even though 4 records are there when you filter it with true. But in the case here, I mentioned about the counter customer name. So what it means is you go and filter this table based on this condition. So it returns 4 in this still 4 values. And now you do a count on customer column. So when it does the count on the customer column for these 4 records, so only 3 records has values in it. The first one has blank values. It ignored this. Hope you understood how it works, right? I just share this file to you all. You just practice it. You cannot directly put the condition here like I mentioned here. You cannot put the condition here. Okay. Instead, you can put the condition here. Okay. So filter condition, you can put the expression. You can put the expression. Okay. Instead of the thing, you can put it here. Here it will not work. And the next one is this one, the 10 measure. If you click on this one, look here. The moment when you click the visual, whatever the table and the column that or any measure that we use, that one will get highlighted automatically on the right side, just beneath the fields. If you expand this, you can see it measure, right? You just click on it. Count rows. Count rows gives me the total number of records. And similarly, when you select this one, sum m, I have used the sum function here. Sum of total sales. Okay, so now you understood the difference between count, count x, count a, and count ax. Very simple one. And then you have understood the distinct count, blank count. Right, this is the one gives me the count blank function, and the blank count is again count blank. These two are same. Okay, in the sales column, how many blank values are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 it gives me, and count we know, and 10 is this one. Count rows, we have something else called count rows, gives me the 10. So that is what the measure it shows. Here I've used the count rows. How many number of records are there, including blanks? 10 records are there. Got it? So pretty simple. I will share this file also to you all. Guys, once you download this file, make sure that you click on transform data and click on data source settings. This file should be there. Okay, AGG sales is not required. I'll give you this one also. Okay, sales by customer. See, these two files are already available in my data set. And then you can make sure that in your laptop you keep these two files, okay, under this folder. Create a folder by the name d date one something like, or if you want your own folder name, you can create it, but you need to go to the source and change it. Better you create the same name, okay. Or if you don't have D drive, I just explain one more time. Go to the transform data, Power Query editor. You know how to change the folder name. So this is the sales by customer. Two queries are there. Look here, currently I selected this one. Select source. Next to that, you will find the wheel icon. You just click on this. When you click on this, it will open. Here, click on browse. Supposing your data file, the same sales by customer CSV file that is available in C drive, go and pick up from here. Okay, supposing the file name is something like this. Yeah, something like that. Click on open. Not this one, actually sales by customer. You kept it in this folder. You want to select it and click on open. So the folder name C colon something like that. Okay, sales by customer CSV. These two files should be there in your laptop. Otherwise, it says, it will go and look for that file, these two files, and then it will throw an error saying that file does not exist. Which file? These two files. AGG sales by customer. These two files are not available. It will throw an error. To overcome that, you need to go and specify. You need to keep these two files in your laptop, and that too in this folder. If you cannot create these two folders, or you want to create your own folder, create it. But you need to go and change the folder name in the Power Query editor. Okay, the source, the wheel icon. When you click on the wheel icon, there you need to specify your folder name and the file name also. Then it will work, and you select each and every value and see what measure I wrote it, and you can do some trial and error. Okay, you can create another card visual. Look here, you just click on the card visual and then you put it here, and whatever the measure that you created, simply drag and drop it. Right, that's all. You know how to create a measure. Go to modeling and then click a new measure. Okay, this is the navigation you have to follow. But the alternatively, you can go to the file name, and here three dots are this called ellipses, and you just click on it. You click on new measure. This is another way of creating the measure. This we will see it in the next week session. Okay, how to create a separate table wherein you can keep all the measures that you can use it. And I will see it tomorrow. I'll be busy. Okay, because just now I returned from I was out of station just now. I'm back to Chennai, and we will see. Day after tomorrow, whenever I get time, I will let you know. If you are free,